It comes as the Trump administration has also announced new tariffs that could raise the price of tomatoes at the grocery store.
This morning, the trade war is now impacting tomatoes. A new policy kicks in today, making way for a 21% price hike on tomato imports.
Crazy, everybody was in here buying tomatoes, you know, and with the economy the way that it is, if you're saving a few pennies and you're supporting local, that everybody wins in that situation. The customer wins, it brings us business, so we're selling.
It begins in silence. Under the Florida sun, acres of ripe tomatoes stretch as far as the eye can see. Yet instead of being harvested, they're being plowed back into the soil. Not because of pests, not because of blight, but because farmers can't afford to pick them. The cost of labor, storage, and transport now outweighs the value of the crop itself. This tragedy isn't isolated. From California's Central Valley to the fields of Texas, growers face the same reality. Warehouses are full, shipments sit unsold, and prices fall so low that harvest itself becomes a loss. For generations, American tomatoes fed the world. But today, contracts vanish and global buyers are looking elsewhere. Where do they turn? Mexico. Across the border, Mexican producers are thriving. They've invested heavily in modern greenhouses, climate-controlled supply chains, and packaging that guarantees consistent quality year-round. Cold storage facilities keep tomatoes fresh. Digital tracking builds trust. Logistics networks deliver on time, every time. Mexico has transformed its agriculture into a machine of efficiency. The U.S., meanwhile, is stuck. Outdated infrastructure, labor shortages, and unreliable transport mean even the best tomatoes often arrive late or spoiled. Border delays and paperwork inconsistencies further erode confidence. For international supermarkets and distributors working on razor-thin margins, American tomatoes have become a risk. Mexican tomatoes are the safe bet. Policy decisions fueled this collapse. For decades, a suspension agreement set price floors on Mexican imports, shielding U.S. growers from rock-bottom competition. But when that agreement was scrapped, the floodgates opened. Cheaper Mexican produce poured into the market, and American farmers, already struggling, were forced into a race they couldn't win. The fallout ripples through communities. Packing plants cut shifts. Trucking firms lose routes. Rural economies, once sustained by tomato harvests, now watch jobs vanish. Families who built their lives around farming face the bitter reality of selling land that's been in their hands for generations. And it's not just about money. Every acre plowed underrepresents wasted water, wasted fertilizer, wasted labor. At a time when climate change is squeezing resources tighter than ever, such inefficiency is more than unsustainable. It's catastrophic. The global tomato trade has become a test of confidence. Buyers want suppliers who are consistent, predictable, and affordable. Mexico has mastered that formula. The U.S. has not. And every missed shipment chips away at decades of trust. Yet, amid crisis, some farmers are fighting back. They experiment with greenhouse technology and vertical farming to extend growing seasons. They form cooperatives, selling directly to local markets. They diversify into peppers, berries, or niche crops less vulnerable to imports. These stories of resilience show determination, but they also reveal the scale of the challenge. Stopgaps alone cannot save the industry. What's needed is reinvention, precision farming to cut waste, cold chain logistics that rival Mexico's, smarter trade policy that balances protection with competitiveness, and government-industry partnerships that treat agriculture not as a relic of the past, but as a modern, high-tech sector essential to national strength. Because the stakes are larger than tomatoes. They're about whether America will cede control of its food supply, about whether farmers will have a future in the land they've worked for generations, and about whether a nation that once prided itself on feeding the world will stand idle while its fields of abundance rot in the sun. The American tomato was once a symbol of freshness, of abundance, of a nation's agricultural might. Today, it stands as a warning that without vision, without investment, without reform, even the richest harvest can turn to dust. This is not just the story of a fruit. It is the story of a system at the edge of collapse, one that must choose between decline and renewal.